Your back to school crochet is basic, but it's all right because I'm going to give you guys a little bit of inspo to spice up your back to school supplies. What's up, you guys? My name is Zanier and welcome to or back to my YouTube channel. If you are a reoccurring subscriber, thank you so much. And if you're not, that's all right. That's okay. But I hope that you stay because we have an amazing time on this channel. And as soon as you hit that subscribe button, your life automatically improves for the better. So I suggest you automatically improve your life and hit that subscribe button. Just saying. Just saying. In today's video, I am going to be giving you guys some aesthetic back to school crochet inspo. It is now the month of August, and so we are coming up on another year of school. And although I will not be going back to school this fall because I graduated, I thought that it would be a great idea to give you guys some crochet inspo to spice up your school supplies. I have quite a few things here, so we're just gonna get right on into it. I have gone ahead and created a Pinterest board with everything that I'm going to talk about in today's video, so that will be linked down below. I also have found tutorials for everything in this video that I show, so I am going to be showing the tutorial along with the YouTuber's name, but I also have a Google Docs down below that will be linked that has links to everything that I'm going to be talking about in order. If you guys are having any trouble finding any of the links or if they're not working, please let me know. The very first thing I'm going to be talking about today is pencil cases. The first two pencil cases that I have here are these granny square pouches, and they have a zipper. I think that these are so cute and a great way to spice up your school supplies. I have linked two different patterns here. The first one is a granny square pouch, and it's using the smaller granny squares and then sewing it all together. And then the other tutorial that I have here is another pouch with a zipper, and instead this is using 4 granny squares, so 2 on each side. Obviously, you can choose whichever one is calling to you. I think all of this is very easily customizable. If you want to have a little bit more of a spiced up pencil pouch, I definitely recommend these ones. The next pencil pouch that I have here is this flower pencil pouch. This stitch was trending a while back, and honestly, I understand why. It is so cute. Especially it's so frilly and girly and just adorable, and I think that it would make a really cute pencil pouch. And so I have found this tutorial for this pencil pouch, so it tells you the exact steps. You don't have to line the pouch if you don't want to, but if you have smaller things in your pencil pouch, I would suggest putting a liner just so that everything stays in there and nothing falls out in your backpack, or if this is something that you're carrying around in your hand, you don't lose it while you're walking around. The next pencil pouch that I found on Pinterest was this adorable pencil pouch with a cute bow. It's very croquette, and this one once again zips. And I couldn't find the exact tutorial for this, but I did find this bubble pouch tutorial, and I think that you could easily recreate the Pinterest photo. Instead of doing the bubble stitch, you're just gonna do either half double crochets or single crochets, and then all you would have to do is find a little bow pattern to crochet, and then you could either sew it on or glue it on. It really just depends. And then the last pencil pouch that I have here is this tie pencil pouch. I wanted to give you guys an option where you didn't have to sew anything, and I think it's so cute and simple with the bow. I have found the tutorial for this as well, so there that is for you guys. For the next category, I am going to be talking about book sleeves / iPad sleeves. I feel like depending on how big you make it, it could really be versatile. The very first one that I have here is this granny square book sleeve that has a button on it. So you could either make it a wraparound tie, or you could sew a button to it so that way it closes. And I have gone ahead and found this tutorial that you guys can follow. Although they don't have a button attached to it in the tutorial, you could easily just sew a button on and then chain like 4 or 5 and then slip stitch that to the opening of the pouch. The next book sleeve that I have here is just a regular book sleeve that opens from the side. I've gone ahead and linked 2 different patterns. So one is using the granny square stitch, and then the other one you're just crocheting regular. I'm not sure if they use double crochets or half double crochets, but I know it's just a very simple stitch. And I like this one because it has the little ties on the side so that way you can actually keep it closed. But once again, if you want to make it more secure, like the Pinterest photo, you can sew a button onto it. The next book sleeve that I have here is this tie around granny square book sleeve. So I'm not sure how many granny squares you're crocheting, but you're making a couple of big granny squares and then sewing them all together. And so I've gone ahead and found this tutorial for you guys to follow. It has the wraparound, and once again, although they don't have the button in there, you can of course add that on. The next book sleeve that I have here is this book sleeve that actually has a pouch in the front, so that way you can either put books, pens, or whatever you desire in the front of it. Maybe you have some mints or some hand sanitizer, you can also slip that in the front. And this is the tutorial that I would recommend using for that. I like how she did the patches and also added a little bit of flower detailing to hers. The last book cover that I have here is this flower book cover, and as you can see, it is the same stitch that I recommend you use for the pencil case. So if you wanted to have a matching vibe going with your school supplies, this is definitely something that you can make, and then you'll have like little cute matching things. And this is the tutorial that I found for it, and that is all that I have for book covers. Now we're gonna move on to laptop sleeves, and I only have 2 patterns here. The first one is this granny square laptop sleeve, and I couldn't find a tutorial for it on YouTube, but all you would have to do is crochet 6 granny squares that are the size of your laptop sleeve, and 6 for the front, 6 for the back, and then you're going to sew those all together to make the sleeve. And honestly, I think it's very simple and very self-explanatory. And then for the other one that I have here, I also don't have a perfect exact tutorial for it. It is this cute grid stitched hibiscus, and honestly, all you have to do is look up the hibiscus grid on Pinterest and follow this tutorial that I found. I found 2, so if you prefer to work from left to right or up and down, it's up to you. I have gone ahead and supplied these 2 tutorials. Honestly, any picture that you guys like or any grid that you see, you could crochet that and then turn that into a laptop sleeve using the patterns that I have linked. It is going to make it a little more challenging because you are following a grid, so it just requires a little bit more concentration, but I think that is another great way to spice up your supplies. The next couple of things that I have here are actually bookmarks. So this first one is this strawberry flower bookmark, and honestly, I think it's so cute. I know that we use a lot of digital textbooks now and digital books in general, but I think if you are checking out stuff from a library, or if you just have your own physical books that you need bookmarks, these are great. The next bookmark that I have is this hibiscus bookmark. I think it's so cute, and you can follow this tutorial in order to design it. The next one that I have here is this multicolor flower bookmark. Now, the tutorial that I found for this is not exactly the same, but you can use the leaves from the other tutorials that I had mentioned and then make a couple more of these small daisies in different colors, and then you could either slip stitch them on or sew them on. It just depends on what you want to do. And then you have your bookmark. The next bookmark that I have here, I have actually made this before. I've made quite a couple and I've sold them at pop-ups, and they're honestly so cute. And that is this leaf sprouts bookmark. You can also put this on your headphones or use it as a bag charm. It's super quick and very easy, and you could also use this to tie your cords and stuff. So if you have a laptop cord that is constantly getting tangled up, you could use the leaf sprout for that. The next bookmark that I have here is this corner bookmark, and I have found two different tutorials for this. So the first one is this vintage lace corner bookmark, and it's just a very simple one. And if you wanted to have the little heart design that they have in the Pinterest photo, you can crochet one of those and either sew or glue it on. And then the second one, I just thought it was very unique, and I love granny squares, so I'm just gonna find any excuse to throw a granny square in here. And that is this granny square corner bookmark, and that is all that I have for the bookmarks. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to some water bottle holders, because we are staying hydrated this semester, this school year. We're not going to be at school with headaches because we haven't been drinking our water, because we're going to have our water bottle in our water bottle holder, okay? We're not going to lose our water bottle, okay? We're not going to do that. We're going to keep it this year. Your mom or you're not going to have to buy a new water bottle. We're going to keep it because we're going to use this water bottle holder, okay? The first picture that I have here is this strawberry water bottle holder, and I love this because it's using a basic stitch for the body, and then all you're doing is creating the edging to make it look like a strawberry. And so I have found this tutorial that actually makes it look like a strawberry. They go the extra mile by adding the little strawberry seeds onto it. But you, of course, don't have to do that. And you can make it a pink strawberry if that's what you're looking for. And then the next water bottle holder that I have here is this flower stitch water bottle holder. Once again, I just think that this stitch is adorable, and it's so cute and aesthetic and just frilly and fun. And if you want to have some more matching school things, you can definitely make this water bottle holder. I have found this tutorial for you guys. I think that it's perfect to add a little character to your water bottle, and also prevents people from stealing your water bottle as well, because, you know, I mean, I don't know why people are stealing water bottles in the first place, because, like, you do not know where people's mouths have been. So, like, what are we doing, guys? But this is gonna keep people from stealing your water bottle, and if they do, you're gonna know, because I'm sure that there's not gonna be a lot of people who have this type of water bottle stitch, unless you're, like, going to a fashion school and suddenly everybody's on their crochet shit. Like, I don't know. That just seems very, like, oddly specific if you ask me. So the next water bottle holder that I have here is just this mesh water bottle holder, and it's very simple and cute if you're not wanting to do too much and you just want it to keep it simple. I have found two. The first one I think is actually the tutorial for the one on Pinterest. Definitely go check that out. And then the other one is just a different type of mesh stitch if that's what you're interested in. And I think the handle is a little different as well. So it's really up to you. It really just depends what look you're going for. That is all that I have for water bottle holders. So now we're going to move on to backpacks. I really only have two inspos here for the backpacks. The first one is this completely crocheted backpack, and I just think it's very unique. Like, if you want to make a backpack, I think if you're in high school or middle school, obviously you're gonna probably want a more industrial backpack or one that's a little bigger. But if you're in college and you're just going to like a couple classes in a day, I think like this is the perfect size backpack for you. I have found this tutorial for y'all to follow. And then the next backpack that I have here is actually a granny square inspired backpack. There's so many things that you can do with granny squares. You also don't have to use granny squares specifically. You can also make a bunch of different like grid stitches and then sew those all together as you would the granny squares. It really just depends on what you want to do. It's so customizable. Now we're gonna get into tapestries. You could either use this for dorm decor if you're going back to college or going to college, or you can use this to decorate your locker if you are in high school or middle school, or if you want to create a little gift for your teacher to put up in the classroom. This is also something that would be really nice. I have linked this video here, which gives you a tutorial on how to follow a grid, and it also shows you a bunch of different grids that you can follow for the pattern. And then I've also linked this tutorial that shows you how to make it into the hangable tapestry, and also has a couple of different grid patterns in there as well. So please check that out. I think that that's a great way to spice up your locker or even your classroom if you end up making things for, you know, your teachers or professors. The next thing that I have here are headbands. This is the only wearable accessory that I am going to highlight today, just because I wanted these to be quick and easy things that people could make right before school starts. The first two headbands that I have here are these mesh headbands. I think they're so cute and great for keeping your hair out of your face and just adding a little bit more spice to your wardrobe at school. I have two tutorials here. The first one has a little bit more of closer together mesh stitches, whereas the second one, they're a little farther apart. So I wanted to just give you guys some options. It really depends on the look that you're going for. The next headband that I have here is actually this surprise. I know, can you guess? Can you guess what it is? I feel like you could guess. If you guessed the granny square headband, you're absolutely correct. This is the granny square headband that I saw on Pinterest, and this is the tutorial that you can follow for it. Once again, granny squares are great and versatile, so just do it. The last headband that I have here I think is so adorable, and it is actually this star tapestry headband. I have found a tutorial for this exact pin. So here that is. Please check it out. I think this is so creative, and this will also give you guys a little bit more guidance on how you could use a different design for the headband. And that is everything that I have for today's video. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I have a Pinterest board linked down below with everything that I showed in today's video, as well as the tutorials in a Google Doc down below in the order that I was talking about them. So please feel free to check that out and let me know if you guys have any trouble accessing any of the links. If you guys are interested in following me outside of YouTube, please check out my Instagram and TikTok. That is where I post about my day-to-day crochet ventures and also just give little life updates if that's what y'all care about. I feel like y'all are just here for the crochet. Y'all ain't here for me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If you've made it this far, you are a real one, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
Girl, it's been too long. Clock done fell off the wall. Been out here writing songs. Where the hell did the time go?